Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
And I have a boyfriend.
The Keith and the Girl 2019 Marathon has been sent to the Kickstarter supporters at the appropriate reward level. We're very excited about it. If you didn't see the Kickstarter email for details, email us at info@KeithAndTheGirl. We'll make sure you're hooked up. The marathon will be available at keithandthegirl.com/store this week for anyone who didn't support it at the time but would still like to purchase it. And how much fun was it, Henda?
It was so much fun. I got delirious. I like when it's like past the 12-hour mark. It's some kind of weird time in the morning or early, in the middle of the night or early morning. A new guest comes in and sits behind the old guest to wait for their turn. And their jaw is on the floor like how silly and ridiculous everything is.
Want to hear who was part of it?
Yes.
Hannah Boone, Casey James Salengo, Sean Patton, Kevin Allison, Mike Kaplan, Carrie Gravenson, Ali Clayton, Sharon Paul. By the way, 24 hours. 24 hours this thing was. Okay? Sharon Paul, Matt Backus, Eileen Clark, Shelton Lindsay, Dino DiMartino, Maria Wojciechowski, Tracy Carnazzo, Connor Delahanty, J.P. McDade, Luke Tuma.
You're going to mention everyone? It's 24 hours.
Mara Mark, Melody Kamali, Carmen Lagala, Andrea Allan, Charlie Rohrer, Jesse Jollis, Sam Evans, Wendy Starling, Allison Clem, Sarah Hartshorn, Jessica Watkins, Shauna Lane, Caitlin Bailey, Jerome, Shalay was Sharp, Maddie Smith, Patrick Schroeder, Calvin Cato, Kyle Ocasio, Carmen Lynch, Courtney McGinnis, Will Winner, Bianca Brady, Connor Cregan, Noah Garden Schwartz.
It's totally easy to book this thing, you guys.
Rojo Perez. All right. So if you go to keithandthegirl.com/forums, you can be jealous of the people who have it right now. They're showing what their favorite moments are. But again, in a couple days, it'll be at keithandthegirl.com/store. Thank you very much for your support. Today's guest, well, my goodness, host of the Hot Mess Comedy Hour, which featured Henda recently.
Oh, yeah, it's my second time because they know to ask me just after some fucked up shit happens.
Oh, crying like a baby. Emily Lubin. How you doing, Emily?
Sup, fools?
Good to see you.
I'm not on the marathon list because I was chasing tail in Florida, and that was the ultimate lesson. Never miss a marathon.
Oh, that's true. The last time you were here, you told us about where you were during the marathon.
Yup.
And I think we were all disappointed in
Would have
you.
rather been here. You should be. I'm disappointed in me.
Isn't that funny? You went to, where was it, Florida?
Florida.
You went with Florida. It was understood you were going to have sex. Guy goes, give me a second. I'm going to take a shower. Falls asleep.
Yeah, it's funny, Keith.
It's funny because
Isn't that funny?
We were here doing the opposite. We would not sleep for 24 hours.
Oh,
and
I
that's
see.
what you picked.
I see where you're going with that.
Just saying. Just saying. How's dating going now? You came into this room. I go, hey, how you doing? What did you say?
I said I'm getting my box 8.
Right. Right. Now, it's so beautiful that, it's a free-for-all, but I do like to see you happy.
Thank you.
And
I am happy. You know, I'm getting my box 8 a lot.
Right.
But a lot in particular by one person.
Remember, by the way, when women couldn't vote?
I don't remember personally.
Right.
I heard it was a tough time.
Right.
He does remember, and that's why he's so shocked about your language now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying how times have changed and good because we have to make up for everything. So your box is getting eaten.
Remember when we used to have to sit through guys going like, and she fucking blew me, and we were like,
You know what actually is kind of funny? We couldn't cast our vote in a ballot box.
Right.
And now my box is getting 8 all the time, and I can talk about it.
Yeah. How times have changed.
Yeah, they've changed in such a one-to-one way. So I'm getting my box 8 like in general.
Okay.
But this seems like one guy is turning you out.
So one.
Can I say that? I say that. One gentleman seems to be how do I say this? Turning you out.
He's turning me out, but I haven't come yet because I'm on this new medication that
Called birth control?
No, it's for anti-anxiety, and it's an SSRI. So like it brings your libido down, but I hadn't really noticed that happening. I have still been like hella horny, but I guess like it's been hindering because yesterday I took an edible. We were fucking in the middle of the day. I was using a vibrator. Still couldn't get there.
Fuck.
Yeah, and that's like should do the trick. You know what I mean? So then I was
position,
like,
if I may.
Doggy.
That's a good one with the vibrator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accessibility.
Wow. Still couldn't get. How long did he manage to?
He was eating me out for like two rounds.
Wait, from
probably,
behind?
No.
And nobody does the 86, okay? That's a myth. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Wait, what's an 86?
We'll get to that.
A sex thing?
Yes.
According to his dad, but we'll get to it.
So no, he wasn't eating me out from behind. He ate me out, and then I didn't come. But then I was like, I'll try the vibrator.
Right.
So then I tried the vibrator, still couldn't get there, and then so I didn't get there, and then the next time around, he went down on me again, and I still didn't get there.
Fuck.
Although I was like starting to shake a little bit, but still not getting there.
Ooh,
The vibrator was just in you for an hour. Of course you're shaking.
Well,
You're still shaking.
What does that feel like?
What does what feel like?
What, like a constant, almost there sort of thing?
Frustrating.
Yeah. What do you do after that? Because I have to admit, I kind of am like, I didn't come, and I'm like, what's with my attitude? Like, I came, like, even if I come like 3 times, if we go again, I'm like, but I didn't come this time.
Well, that's because you're selfish.
I am selfish. We go again anyway. I'm like, do you want this attitude or do you want me to come?
I think that's great.
Thank you.
For me personally, like, it's always a little bit, it's never a guarantee that I'm going to come. Like, it's a little more difficult for me in general. So I didn't really think much of it. But then after the edible and the vibrator and like all the hoopla, I suddenly realized, it's got to be because of the medication, because normally that would be like a no-brainer.
Do you tell him about the medication? Because it almost seems unfair.
I actually didn't tell him about the medication, but I think I will if we see each other again.
It would be polite.
It would be polite?
Yeah, it'd be polite to...
He's talking about the guy's ego, right?
Of course, to let the gentleman know that, hey, I would like to think he's a normal human being, and right now he's cutting himself. And it'd be nice to know that...
I like my men to cut themselves.
Right.
It humbles them.
Okay.
Did he feel a sense of like, God damn it?
No, it didn't seem so. It seemed like he was like, oh, well, we'll get there eventually. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. But I will say something, because I think that is the reason why. But listen, it's a journey. And I'm just along for the ride.
Was he good at the journey?
He's great at the journey. That's the thing. It's like it should be happening, but it's not.
That sucks. Did he get there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Oh.
I mean, do you even need to ask?
Just because I'm on the pills doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm not feeding my men the pills.
The irony...
I like them a little anxious, actually. I don't want them to be taking pills.
Why? What's good about them being anxious?
A little squirrely, in the... I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
But
you're giving me a look like, why do you want them to be nervous?
Maybe it's a thing that I need to look into.
Good for you.
Thank you.
If you stop taking these pills, do you think you'd orgasm not need the pills?
It's hard to say, but it's not worth me not taking the pills. Like, maybe I could look into taking some different pills, but the pills have improved my every day
What
so
is it?
far.
Is it depression? Is it anxiety?
It's anxiety. It's
everything makes you nervous?
Yeah, it's mainly social anxiety. Before I was taking them, like when I decided I was going to go back to therapy again, it had gotten to a point where I would get really nervous. I couldn't look a cash register in the eye. Like
a cash register?
Like if I'm in a bodega, I like couldn't look the guy in the eye because I would get scared that they were like, not scared, but just anxious that they're thinking bad things about me or they don't want to be having this exchange. Like,
so the actual cashier. I was thinking the machine and the price would scare you.
Oh.
Because sometimes the prices change.
That too.
Right.
Prices are out of control. But no, I just like strangers or I ran.
These bodega people, they see drunks and murderers all the time. You think they're judging you.
Yeah, this isn't my rational mind.
Right.
Also, I would run into people. A couple times it happened. I ran into people in public that I know, people that I like. And I couldn't, I just took every necessary route to escape and not say hi to them.
That sucks because, I mean, for obvious reasons, but have you gotten over this before and kind of it comes back and forth?
I've always had it to a degree. And even when I was really little, I was diagnosed ADHD when I was really little, but I later found out that I was also diagnosed Asperger's. And this was years later. I was sitting in my school psychologist's office and we were going through, I had like extended time on tests because I had ADHD. So he's going through my file and he's like, I see in your file that it says you have Asperger's. And this was news to me. Like, nobody ever told me this. And I was like, oh, I mean, I don't think I do. And he was like, I don't think you do either. So I'm just going to cross it out.
Oh, what? Your principal?
My school psychologist, like the one who would go through the like give you the IQ test and give you like go through your IEP if you needed like testing accommodations and stuff.
Weird way to diagnose.
Well, yeah, I guess like from having had X amount of conversations with me, he was just like, I don't think you would qualify for Asperger's. But what I didn't realize at the time was back when I would have been diagnosed, I was very, very painfully shy. And I think, you know, it all comes back to social anxiety. I just have always had a high level of anxiety around new people and getting to know new people and feeling judged. It's been going on forever. So I finally decided like maybe some medical intervention would be a good idea.
Well, cut to now, they're taking Asperger's out of the medical book, so you're cured. Even
Are
if
they
you did have it.
They're taking it out of...
It absolutely makes no sense to me.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, I know people with this, so I don't know if they just changed the name or what, but there's Asperger's where you can relate to somebody more than you could regular autism, but you can tell what's off, and there's a pattern, and it's relatable for people with this diagnosis.
Well, maybe now you would just be like autism spectrum disorder or something.
Okay, but narrow down the spectrum, if you know, for me.
Right. Yeah. I mean...
Especially if you've already diagnosed like thousands, possibly millions of people.
Right.
What do they have to be re-diagnosed for something?
I mean, it's a dumb name, Asperger.
Yeah, really.
It is, yeah.
Is that someone's name and their ego just got in the way?
I have a friend.
It's somebody's name.
He was diagnosed dillweed. You know? I mean, some of these names, okay, I guess you can change
I'm
them.
diagnosed dick monkey. It's a very serious
Asperger.
condition. I'd prefer you to not laugh.
By the way, speaking of which, you've been watching videos of animals having sex. You're really enjoying what's going on in nature.
Yeah.
Does this have anything to do with you having trouble getting off?
No, and see, this is the thing. Like, this is one of the things that kind of made me come to this realization because this is not like a horniness thing. Like, I'm not watching them to get off.
Right.
I'm watching them just because I find it interesting. What happened was I go down these internet wormholes, and it could be anything. Like, I'll spend hours researching. I spent hours researching what people think is the best flavor of Gatorade.
Okay.
I care not. I've never even drank Gatorade. Okay.
Right.
I'm not going to go out and buy the best flavor. I just like was curious.
What'd you come to? For punch?
Red.
Is that what you think? What do you think it is? Have you had Gatorade?
Yeah, but not like as a drink.
You drink Gatorade.
Yes.
What do you think's the best?
Between my pro ball playing, because she just said red, and it sounds like you gave me a clue. That's not the answer. I'm going to go with lemon lime, but my favorite for all foods are red and orange.
Okay, see, I had always heard red and orange.
Mm-hmm.
It's blue, isn't it?
Yeah.
What?
I think it's blue, and there's one other one that I can't remember right now, but not the ones you would think. But what I really discovered is that there are like hundreds of flavors of Gatorade that you don't even realize, because I guess some of them are limited edition. They're kind of like the Oreos of the sport drink world.
Emily, you have Asperger's. What the fuck is happening? What kind of news is this shit?
Yeah, I just tricked you. I didn't want to know. But what did we learn?
I don't know if you guys know, but what's fascinating is, oh shit.
So anyway, so I was down one of these wormholes because I had heard that dolphins have sex for pleasure.
Okay.
And that's very abnormal. Other than humans, there aren't a ton of animals that have sex for pleasure. It's mostly for procreation purposes. So I start wondering what other animals have sex for pleasure too. So I Google it, and I find it's dolphins. There are a couple other marine animals, and then lots of different kinds of primates. Which makes sense because, you know, we evolved from primates or whatever.
But I don't know, how are they deciding this? You can watch a lion have sex, and when they come, they're not enjoying themselves a little bit?
Do you see, like, does the dolphin go, "Rrrr"?
I mean, I don't know how they measure it. I just know that each animal has a team of experts that their expertise is only in that animal. You know, I leave it up to the experts.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
not.
but what are they looking for? A smile just before, like a little, like a, you know, like what do we?
Well,
a specific cry out that
A
mirrors
flipper,
ours.
a flipper bump.
Well, again, knowing very little about the topic, I'm just a voyeur.
The way I see it is if people were watching us, right? Like if there were higher beings that we can't even see because these animals don't know that we're judging them with a clipboard and everything. They're just living their lives.
Yeah.
What if we were living our lives and somebody's watching and they go, oh, they derive pleasure out of sex? How would they know that?
We wear condoms.
No, it's the fact that we don't wear condoms taking all the fucking risks. It must be
True.
good. Yeah.
That's a good question Henda's bringing up. Do they light a cigarette?
Well, so what I'm thinking is they have to compare it to other things that we do. So when we eat, we look like we're enjoying something, right? So you compare that to, so is that what they're doing? They're like, look at them kill that other animal. They really like that.
Well, have you ever watched the Discovery Channel? Like, have you seen footage of animals mating? Even like as a passerby?
In passing, like people think it's funny, so they have shown me at some point.
Usually, especially the female, but even the male also, they usually look like they're not enjoying it at all.
Oh,
Like
really?
they look detached. Their eyes are glazed over. I mean, those are two beings that are not in the moment at all. They're just trying to get something done.
I see. Okay.
But anyway, primates.
But there are people, and I'm
for
so
fun.
sorry, but there are people who like jerk off horses for a living because they have to, whatever they do with that jizz. And
Whatever they do with it. Anything.
Did you see this in a porn?
Whether they're making stamps, whatever they're doing.
I know there's at least one listener
To
who
make
does
glue,
that.
actually.
Right. That's where it comes from.
So I wonder if at the point of orgasm, they kind of, their body shakes, right? So even if they don't intend to have sex, they intend to enjoy sex, do they enjoy the orgasm at the end, the coming? Emily, you're now our expert. Go.
Yes. It depends. It depends on your definition of the word enjoy, I think. I think they enjoy the fact that...
Now you sound like a guy who's like, oh, you don't have to come, right?
It depends what the meaning of the word is. It's like, okay, a leopard, I think they would nut in the female. And then,
yes, doctor?
and after he has nutted,
Because
yes, he has enjoyed planting his seed. But did he actually enjoy the experience? I don't know. I mean, there's not like much mechanics involved.
So who does enjoy it?
Gorillas.
Gorillas do.
So lots of primates, but I became very interested in gorillas because I'm like, what does that look like?
Right.
Because they're human-like, but they're not humans, so they must look kind of, but they're also bigger and very intimidating.
But they're also so strong that if they were to enjoy sex, they can like hold the position and like do the thing that they like for a long time.
Yeah, man. I mean, a gorilla, like if a gorilla was just a tiny bit smarter, he could totally sit on your face and suffocate you.
Is that what the smart thing to do is?
Sitting on Emily's face, she's like, "You're so smart. Do you have a doctorate?"
Andrea's behind Emily just going like, this is a very interesting one.
That's my friend. That's what Andrea's thinking.
She loves it. So I go on the YouTube
Right.
and I start looking up videos of gorillas mating.
Could you be arrested by your search history?
No, this is all legal,
Right.
which is shocking because it's dirty shit. It is dirty as any porn I've ever seen ever.
But now we know how laws happen. Do you know legally in America, ketchup has to be a certain consistency? These laws came from somewhere, is what I'm saying. And it could be the beginning of new laws.
Do they ever slap or choke each other?
No, but funny thing, cats, actually, when they mate, the male cat mounts the female cat and then bites the back of the female's neck as a dominance thing. Like bites the skin on the back of the neck and pulls it, like in a very BDSM way.
In
Fun
case
fact.
fucking you wasn't obedient enough, of who's in control.
Oh, Keith is talking
Maybe the
dirty
female
now.
likes it.
Oh, yeah, they sound happy outside my apartment. Maybe she loves
Oh yeah,
it.
they do. They screech at a frequency that can only be picked up by like babies.
Like some of these animals, they have spikes on their dicks that come out, right, when they're fucking. Now,
Yeah, I've heard that.
What's going on there that there's a god?
I don't know. I can't speak to that, but
Okay.
That's not her line of expertise.
Right.
She
I'm
hasn't.
more in the gorilla world right now.
She hasn't gotten to that episode yet.
She's like, I can't speak to that, Senator.
The cable went out.
When I tell you there were so many home videos of gorillas fucking, like I wasn't watching televised
Like
footage.
selfies?
Yeah, the gorilla. It's a POV.
I wait till VR happens.
Do you
It's
like?
a flip camera.
Do you like it more
Gorillas.
amateur?
I actually do. And I'll tell you why. I had a moment.
Yes, Gonzo Gorillas.
So we're Gonzo Gorillas, yes. The people who were filming the gorillas in this one video that I watched, it was a husband and wife, or like a boyfriend girlfriend, and the guys like sleeveless, a la your style.
Thank you.
Covered in tattoos, like real Jersey looking guy. And he's just like, babe, look at the gorillas. And then she pans over to the gorillas and she's filming them and they're not doing anything. They're just like being gorillas.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the male gorilla wraps his arm around the female gorilla's neck, pulls her into his chamber. Yeah, like into his personal space. And the guy's like, no way! No way! Babe, check out the gorillas! And then they zoom in.
With consent, that's a hot move. Continue.
I completely agree. And then everybody starts crowding around. You hear more people pointing and talking about the gorillas and giving their own commentary. And then he starts thrusting. They're doing different positions. They start out in missionary. They change to doggy.
You can actually see it.
The dick?
Yeah, a dick in a vagina.
No, but you know what's going on.
They're pounding.
They're pounding.
Okay.
They're
Is she
banging.
also like moving in that rhythm?
Yes.
Wow.
They're both so into it. But everybody's crowding around, and when he really starts banging it out, like when he really starts thrusting, people are pointing and laughing. People are being really, I think, kind of
Rude.
cruel and rude to this gorilla. But the gorilla doesn't give a fuck. He
What if-
just keeps going. And that was the moment that I was like, that right there is
beautiful.
the epitome of big dick energy. Everyone's laughing at this gorilla, and he doesn't give a fuck.
Do you think he also likes it? Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I don't think he likes it. I think he doesn't even register. They're not even there.
Okay.
They're not even there. It's primal. It's
Isn't
the definition of primal.
Isn't everyone laughing just because they have nervous energy? Because what are you really laughing at? Why is that funny?
You're laughing because you're a fucking idiot and you
Right.
don't appreciate the beauty of nature.
I'm laughing because finally the joke's on the zoo and there is something to see.
Yeah.
You ever been to these zoos? They're boring.
All the animals are asleep.
I see something fucking, I'm running to the cage.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I'll set up shop there.
Get a sandwich. I'll pay $7 for an ice cream if I see that.
Did you look up if animals go down on each other? Because that seems like
No, very interesting question, though, and I definitely will.
I'm sorry for the loss of your time.
I'm writing it down right now.
Thank you. Report back.
Do animals go down on...
I've
okay.
seen flies do it. You ever see that?
Yeah, I have a picture. They
No,
were, like,
actually.
They were on my balcony one time. I got a real close up. The one fly mounted the other one, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
And this was during Henda's divorce, so she breaks down crying. Like even the fly who lives in shit is enjoying itself.
I wonder where their clit is.
Well,
The fly?
Anyone?
she wonders anyone.
Okay. I'll show you where mine is.
Yeah?
No.
I didn't think so.
What if you don't have one?
Oh, that's sad.
I
Yeah.
have one.
Okay.
That's all, guys. Like, what if you don't have one?
What if I was like, oh my God, I think I don't? Now that you say that,
Bears, I understand, go down on each other.
they do?
Yeah.
Well, they put honey there first.
They put honey there first. They're not supposed to. Doctors say
And a
don't.
fish.
They put honey there. And humans use garlic. They use honey.
I guess that's why Winnie the Pooh doesn't wear pants.
Hello.
It all makes sense now.
Here's Emily's Twitter account at Lubination. So stoned, I just turned to my friend and said, "You know what's fucking good? Chocolate." So true.
It's a true story.
It is good.
Was that the edibles?
No, I think I was just regular stoned.
You're good on edibles, right? Your partner Andrea
I
over there.
love edibles.
You always have to carry her around when you guys do edibles.
Yeah,
right?
well, I'm proud of her though, because apparently when she went to LA, she took an edible. And am I ruining something if I say somebody waved a gun in her face and she was fine?
Okay, more on Andrea's going to be a guest in a week or so, and so we're going to hear more about that.
So she's going to tell that story.
Yeah.
But like to me, that was like the ultimate.
Like everybody's getting high, and this guy went, "Look at my gun, haha."
Yeah, like a guy had a gun in his. I'll let her tell you, but the point.
No, you summed it up great.
My point.
We don't even need her next week.
You know what? Good. I try to condense her stories. That's what I'm here for.
Other animals that have oral sex: lions, bats.
Pussy eats the pussy.
Bats, they hang upside down.
Bats are cool. My nephew is obsessed with bats right now.
Really
I should tell him about this.
Sounds like your nephew's a little pervert.
He is. Yeah. He really is. I took him to the Andy Warhol exhibit, and I was like, which portraits do you like? And he's like, this one, that one, and that one. And they were all nude women. The only nude women.
But children know what nude women are. That's their food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he was just hungry.
Yeah. You know what happens when you're hungry? Everything turns into a nice thing.
Crazy, unspeakable things.
You ever dream of animal sex after seeing it so long?
Actually, no, but I look forward to it.
To when, like, in a couple hours, you can be looking at it again.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
I just kind of like looking at it. Like, I'm kind of
the way I think about
voyeur.
dinner. Right. Do you think what animal you're going to focus on, or just it's going to be me time in a bit?
I don't know, but this morning I was actually watching a video of dolphins mating. Missionary, by the way.
Missionary.
And
that's a tricky one. One of them has to be upside down in the water.
Strange. It was strange. See, this is why I like it. It's like, it's not turning me on. I genuinely find the world around us very interesting. And I find it interesting that, like, there are all these things that you just don't think about on a daily basis.
Well, dolphins have, like, giant dicks, right? So do you get to see this one going in?
No, I still didn't see it. I still didn't see it. But it was kind of on in the background while I was doing my makeup. And then the video ended, and I didn't see what was coming next, and it was a horse. I hear this horse neighing, and I'm like putting on mascara or something. And then I look over, and I'm like, ooh, is this horse about to get fucked? I look over, and this horse is giving birth. So I accidentally saw a horse giving birth out of its asshole.
And that's
Still
not
nature.
That's not your scene. Kendra says still nature, but that's not what we're about.
I mean, it was okay. It was just like not what I was ready for in that moment. I saw my sister giving birth, so like I'm kind of used to it.
You saw it from the Poon side?
I was holding one of her legs.
I'm sorry, Poon is coming back. I can't help
It's
it.
the grossest word.
First of all, nobody has to tell me when something's coming back, right? we find it. That's the beauty of coming back.
Time to stop trying to make Poon happen.
Right.
It's Xerxes' fault. He uses Poon like a regular word, and I'm like, please don't say that. I already got rid of it on the show. People are really upset when I use it.
Because he's trying to please you.
No, he said like it's a normal Queen's word. That's where I got it from.
He also eats out your asshole. I don't need him doing it to us.
Doesn't eat out my asshole.
Well,
we said no ass play.
Okay, we got that checked off.
Thank
I
you.
think you see my point. Okay, I don't mean to misrepresent you guys
You
ass
shouldn't.
eating, but
I can't. I'm still adjusting to the Xerxes thing. I can't.
Right.
Are you really?
Yeah, like I think it's great, but I'm still adjusting.
Yeah.
But you called it before a lot of people.
We were just saying words.
No, Andrea did.
No, Andrea did.
Okay.
Andrea did. I was more like, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you say that to them in person still?
No, it's just like when people are friends for a long time, you think of them in a certain way, and it's hard to see them in a different light.
I say, hey, if you're happy.
I hope I'm not coming across wrong. I think
Not
it's
at all.
great. I
No.
think it's great. It's just
It just makes no fucking
it's like
sense.
if my parents got remarried.
Yeah.
It's like if my parents got back together. I know that obviously they've fucked before. They were married. They were in love at one point. But now thinking about them being together.
Why? Yeah.
Keith, I don't think you're 100% okay with it either. Like, I know that you are cool with it, but sometimes I come in here and you talk about Kyle, and I start talking about Xerxes, and you start looking at your notes.
And he's like, la, 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 la.
Like, I think it might be because we know this other person also, so now when I talk about sex, I'm talking about one of your friends.
Maybe it's
That's
just,
exactly what, isn't that what I just said?
I'm sorry, I mansplained it to you.
I think it's just when you talk about his twisted junk in your poon, it
I don't
throws
think I
me
said
for a
that.
second.
I don't.
Twist
I
it.
did not.
She's really out there.
Didn't say
Can he
that.
twist it a certain way?
I have not seen it, but maybe Keith knows something.
He
I
can
don't.
throw it in a circle?
I don't. Keith,
What?
have I suggested a
Do you know
twisting?
something? You said twisted dick. Is it actually twisted, or do you mean like
Oh, I wouldn't know. No, I'm just saying Henda's disgusting with her words. I don't know why we're in a court of
Twisted
law
that-
all of a sudden. She's fucking disgusting.
Twisted dicks are actually ducks. Those are the only animals that have twisted dicks.
Corkscrew dick, I heard, right? And then what is the point of that? So that you can't say
I actually don't know because like that's a little too mainstream for me. I'm like not interested.
Oh,
I'm trying to break new ground.
you can see that going past the pond, but what goes on in the Sahara? That's what I want to know.
Exactly.
I see.
Thank you for getting it.
Certainly.
I can't wait until group camping. Are you guys all coming?
Oh hell yeah! I mean, I have to look at the dates, but I have to look at my calendar.
Because I'm going to sell treats outside their tent. You can peek in and see what these
I'm just gonna
fucking
make
animals
sure I
are
have
up
my
to.
period. I'm gonna like sync up my period to get all the bears to come eat me out.
That's what they do. They love it, and they know how to be gentle. These animals grab each other out of nowhere, but the bears will understand the fine line. No, Henda's going to be very clear when they're going to fuck to the tent. You know that, right?
No, I'm not. I'm very subtle.
Poon break, everyone. Grab your partner. Xerxes, let's go.
Hey, do you guys want to go down to the pool? No, but we want to go down to the poon.
We'll be in our tent.
Give us a sec.
Yeah. Did I say sec or sex? I meant sec. But it'll be a couple minutes, actually.
You don't understand. When Keith was first dating, he would walk in here and like the first time he had sex, he's like, Stella got a groove back, whatever. then when he was having sex on a regular, he's like, did you guys have sex last night? Oh, you didn't? Oh, I'm just bringing it up.
I remember his obnoxious.
Yeah, he's
swagger.
worse. Who's worse? Sam.
Nobody's worse.
Right.
You're both intolerable in your own ways.
But Keith, you're just like this.
I'm thinking about camping. Like if you guys are like in that new relationship phase. Like if you guys are fucking the whole time, who's gonna roll the blunts?
As if you guys don't get high on one puff.
I just got really concerned. Oh wow, shade, Sade.
Please, you don't think she's going to yell from her tent, come get your blunt, Hunts?
Wow, I never heard a stoner from an ivory tower in that way. Like, oh yeah, well you only get high when one time.
Ever since she's been getting the Ebony Tower, she's been having attitudes, you know?
Wow. I don't know how to feel about that.
Grown. No, we decided to not have sex during group camping so as not to gross you guys out.
Is that true?
For real?
LOL.
She listened to her.
cannot believe
LOL, because we're going to be fucking constantly. It's actually the opposite. Just like Keith. Keith did it too. Anyways, are you kidding me?
Instead of a bonfire, it's just going to be you fucking in the middle of the
You're not
circle.
Right. You can do marshmallows off our heat. What? Keith said he had sex once.
Why do you think you're so innocent, Keith? You're so disgusting when you're in love, and you're so disgusting when you have sex.
Can I say
so
one thing in
gross.
Keith's defense?
Thank you.
Yes.
He's not posting pictures to the gram of like his semen in the sheets.
I posted one picture of a sploosh.
Like a crop circle of splooge.
I was very happy about that.
Splooge or sploosh?
You can make up words when it comes to this because everyone knows what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Andrea Allan has some words.
Hello, everybody. You're both disgusting. That's
Thank
the
you.
answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you are like
Keith.
You're like very romantic in a weird way that doesn't match the rest of your personality.
Oh yeah, it like
Yeah.
makes it grosser.
Yeah, because you're all like sleeveless.
I
and-
laid a lady last night.
God. My sweet angel, baby, butter tits, whatever. And you are just a pile of trash.
Yes. Yeah, I can agree with that. If somehow
Yeah.
that's the same, then sure, we're the same.
Yeah, but trash
You're
is
not
more
the
fun.
same.
No, you're two sides of the pendulum.
Yeah.
You swing from one side, then you swing all the way to the other side. They're both gross.
But Hemda's smushy too, so, you know.
That's true.
So I have
Yeah.
it all.
You have it, yeah. Some would say all or. Ugh.
Or we say,
Ah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I
you
know.
guys are so happy for me.
It's like, what do I say? You know
I'm
what I
honestly
mean?
not now.
Yeah, like I take it back.
Yeah, I take it back. You're weird. You're watching anime. I'm the only normal one
Oh,
in this
wow.
room, which
Yeah,
is crazy.
oh, yeah,
I'm so
yeah.
normal.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
No, I'm not. But yeah, you're.
You might as well tell us about this gun story now.
Oh, I mean. Yeah. Oh, Los Angeles. I mean, okay, so basically, because of an Airbnb fiasco,
Right.
which involved a a listing that was described as rustic, actually being like a legitimate tent city,
Right.
like mattresses on the floor.
No, you should see these pictures.
Yeah,
I thought you were in Baghdad.
Shocking.
I
In, like, the
said to
bad
her,
way.
I can't imagine how she saw pictures that looked okay based on the pictures that
Right.
I saw.
Yeah. Oh, I can't imagine either. And I lived in real time
It was a mattress unmade on the ground, on a dirt floor,
in a teepee.
in a teepee.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that she saw the sheets while they were still in the store, and they were like, "These sheets will be on your bed."
Right.
No, it was a made-up room looking. It said rustic. There was a lot of words like rustic and
Right.
Earthy.
hostile vibe was thrown around a lot. But I'm like,
in
You
Israel,
look back and the words were rust and hostile.
yeah, the movie Hostel.
in Israel, there are these Bedouins, which are the gypsies of Israel. Like they move around a lot, and
Yeah.
people are very upset with them because they'll just like take up some space, and they'll put up the tents that kind of look like yours. They'll just like set up shop.
Yeah.
It looked worse than that.
It looked. I was like, I shouldn't. We went to open the door, and there was a lock that was just broken but hanging off. Like the
This
lock
needs
was
to be
still there.
reported.
Oh, I reported it. Oh,
Yeah.
I had my white lady voice on the phone immediately. So me and Hannah are traveling together. We get there, and we're like, no,
What's the cost of this place?
$50 a night, which is cheap,
But a
like.
lot for that.
Yeah, like I was like, I'm gonna be in a shithole, but not like I'm not gonna be in the
Literal
in
shit.
the elements. Yeah, and so Hannah's like screaming and laughing. I'm laughing so hard I piss my pants. Then I have to go to the bathroom to change my underpants. The bathroom's filled with like dirt and flies and shit. And then I'm like just sitting on my bags. We're also dressed up for a show. So I'm wearing like a dress and big red boots and like a blouse, but on my bag in the middle of a tent city looking for other Airbnbs. So we find another Airbnb. It's fine. But the next Airbnb is a mansion. I assume there's a Chinese family living there because there's a Chinese woman who is communicating with me and her husband meets us at the door, but we never see them at all. So I'm like, where are you guys? And it's just crucifixes everywhere, like Jesus posters, books about God, giant urns. Like
Never forget.
I
Wow.
know. So it was safer, but it was fucking weird. And so Hannah was like, listen, I have an ex-boyfriend that like is a good guy. He's a bit uptight, but he's a decent dude, and he's got like a place in a nice neighborhood. And so I'm like, all right, let's get the fuck out. And this guy was nice guy, very hospitable, like, gave us all the seltzers. The house was very neat to the point where, and like I'm a clean person, but to the point where it was like everything is so perfect in this house, and you're so like anal retentive about cleaning, where it's like you
seem sick.
It's like you seem like you have your like, let me get that, let me everything's and I'm doing this new. He also baked a lot, which is like
You were there one night. How much baking could happen?
Well, we were supposed to be there 2 nights, so it was just like he was like a kind of like a undercover psychotic Betty Crocker kind of guy, where it was like, oh, he's fine, he's just a little on edge. And then before we got there, Hannah was like, listen, we used to live together, we used to argue a lot about the fact that he loves guns. And I was like, and she was like, he is from Alaska, he's very protect your very like, I have the right to bear arms in case of like the revolution type. That's his reasoning for loving the guns. And so I'm like, okay,
The
listen.
revolution is going to get a little messy. He might be a little perturbed by that.
Sure. And like this, he was such a kind person on the surface, but it just seemed like something was like, she said he had anger problems too. So we're going in and I'm like, guns.
Great combo.
Guns, anger problems, but also baking and like Pinterest.
Well, that I will admit that sweetens the deal.
The
little bit.
baking?
Yeah.
I mean, anything. I'd rather have.
If you're holding a gun, but you're also handing me a brownie.
I would rather have the baking. If I'm gonna have guns and temper, I might as well like get a cookie out of it.
Exactly.
But the
That's a quote.
The baking's weird though. Like the perfectionism speaks to the sickness underneath.
What if it overbakes? Does he start shooting guns in
That's
there?
what I'm saying. I'm like, you're two bad things away from fucking freaking out, and I can sense that immediately.
There's no room for mistake.
Yeah. And he was never like violent or aggressive with us, but I just could sense this like real pent up, like fucked upness. And so we're doing fine. I'm like, there's probably guns in his house. That's fine. It's not a tent city. Standards are being lowered. Compensations are being made.
Oh, that's what it's like to be a woman.
I'm like, this is,
What standard do I need to lower today?
Yeah. Well, so then we go out, we have shows, we come back late, and I took an edible, which was my first mistake, because it's like, you're in the gun house, stay in a clear head. But I'm like, it's fine. He ordered us food. We were having a really nice conversation. He's a fun person like to talk to. He's not like a psycho.
She was doing this on our show too. She like keeps defending him preemptively
Because he's gonna fucking kill me. So then
she's like, no, he really is a good guy and he's complicated.
Let me tell you about his childhood.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hannah was like, he had a violent childhood. I'm like, that makes sense. If you are being violently abused by a father figure, I'm sure there were guns involved in the childhood. This is him like protecting himself from that, but he's not admitting that that's what he's doing. It's like under the guise of this like First Amendment. It's like, okay, we're in LA. You don't need 25 guns. Oh, you have a handgun in the drawer. Good to know.
Are you allowed guns in LA?
I think so.
Apparently.
For the coyotes or what?
Yeah, legally, I think. If you have them legally.
I
Right.
didn't think that, but okay.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So then
Those Hollywood bums.
Well, you have to have a license to own a gun, but apparently it's like extremely easy.
All right.
yeah. So we all get high on the edibles. We're eating Chinese food. We're having a great time. And then we're almost to the end of the night. It's like 4:30 a.m. And then he starts talking about the guns. I'm like, here we go.
Oh,
Time to
so
hear about
420 weed, 430 guns.
Sure, exactly. And I'm like, we're entering gunland. And I'm like, he's just going to talk about it. Like, I knew about this. We're going to just try to glaze past it. And then he's like, do you guys want to see the new shotgun I just ordered? And I'm like, no, I don't know. No, I don't though. Because I'm high and it's a gun. And he's like, no, you're going to love it. I'm like, but am I gonna? Because I really don't want you to bring it out.
But how are you going to love it? I understand the attraction of guns, don't get me wrong. But if we're not going outside and shooting some watermelons, what am I going to love?
Yeah. Just
The aesthetic.
Right.
yeah,
the
no,
power
he's
of the
talking
gun.
about it like it's like a beautiful art object. And I'm like,
Yeah, this is like his antique porcelain pig.
right.
You know what I mean? It's like some people collect little figurines. He collects beautiful statuesque antique guns.
I collect death machines and show them to you when you're high out of your fucking
loaded,
mind.
by the way.
No, the shotgun wasn't loaded.
But some of them are loaded, you
Oh,
said.
there's loaded ones all over the house. He made sure to let us know that there were loaded guns. He's like, yeah, don't put your hand in there because there's a fucking. And I'm like, what is happening? And then I continue to like jokingly be like, haha, but seriously, don't fucking bring that gun out here. And he runs back. Now he's running to get a gun, and we're like.
He's physically running.
He's running. He's so excited to show us his fucking gun.
At that point, I would have ran in the other direction.
I was like, do I run out of the house?
Do I grab one of the guns?
Is this... He comes back. I've got like 10 guns. The look of joy on his face when he's waving the gun in the air like a butterfly wing. Like look at the like all the technical
like a bullfighter.
terms, the joy in his face and the horror in our faces as he's waving this gun around, being it's not loaded.
This is so funny. If you replace the word gun with dick,
I would rather a dick.
but like, can you imagine? Like, hey, what if I take my dick out?
You come on.
No, and then the joy of his dick.
No,
being
you'll
out,
love it.
And then him
Yeah.
waving it at you, and you guys looking horrified, and he's so happy.
Yeah, he was so happy and we were so horrified. And then Hannah was watching this. She was like, it was slow motion. I grabbed the gun from him because I'm like, let me hold it because it's fun. I want to see it, but really, I'm like,
By the way, not my top choice person to be holding a gun either.
yeah, it's better that I have the gun.
Whenever she holds a knife, I get nervous.
yeah,
true.
but
It's so
it's
true.
better that I have the gun than this fucking psycho.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah, so it's like I'm pretending that I want to look at it. Like, let me see the craftsmanship, but also give me the gun. Give it to me. me. It's fun. I'm going to hold it now for a second and pretend. I kept like going near the door, like, I'll just move. I'm just going to move over here and
You're
look
like
at
doing
the gun.
air guitar on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was a shotgun.
It's a shotgun.
That's such a big gun.
Yeah, you can blow.
Oh, that's what she said. I get it.
Yes, you can blow my fucking head off with that thing. And it's antique.
He must have loved your response.
Well, yeah, because I'm trying to placate him. It's truly like a fight or flight situation. I'm
yeah,
like,
but that half fear.
of course, that's what's
I
sick
think
about
he likes it.
Oh yeah, me and Hannah were like, because it's like I can defend this guy up to so much, but the fact is that you kept bringing up the guns. We both very clearly, with fear in our face, were like, do not bring it out.
Was this guy Louis C.K. and now he's moved on to guns? Let me take out my gun. No.
No, I'm high, so it's 4 a.m. and I'm high, and I really don't think that I want you to be waving this gun around. Like, I don't want to see a gun no matter what, but I'm in your house and you have guns, so there's nothing I can do about it.
How did it end?
I'm dead.
I'm now dead. He finally, after I was waving it around for 10 minutes, like, ha ha ha, this is fun. He finally was like, all right, time for bed. And then he left with the gun. And then now I'm trying to go to sleep on edibles, and I'm like, he's just in the house. Is he gonna come out and shoot me in the fucking head? Was that a test? Was that like his like pre-game?
Oh no! Now
till
you're
later?
getting really in it.
Of course.
Oh my god!
Of course.
You didn't sleep that night?
Not a wink.
No.
And Hannah was in this little like alcove bed that you could close the doors, close it like a sliding kind of door, and she kept going to close it, and I was like, "Don't you fucking no. Oh, you're gonna hide in the alcove, but I'm just gonna be open range. It's gonna be me on the couch. Just take me out with your fucking gun." I'm like, he's probably not going to, but I didn't expect him to take it out in the first place.
It's not that he just seems irresponsible, so you're going to do irresponsible shit with a gun. That's just
Right.
not math.
But you're
Not good
also like clearly undercover crazy also, and I also know that you have rage problems, you know, and
Yeah.
that's why I was so like, ha, it's beautiful, ha ha, because I'm like, I don't want to be like, fuck you, why did you bring this gun
What
out?
a scene. They're both maniacs. Like, ha ha, I took my gun out. Ha ha, that's great.
Everyone's laughing. I'm waving the gun around.
LOL,
I'm like,
LOL.
Los Angeles, what a kooky place.
LA, so LOL.
Oh my God, so funny. Look at the carving on it. I love that.
Now, Hannah used to date this guy, right?
Yes.
Now, shouldn't she have sex with him while she's there? Because you can't be shooting stuff when you're having sex. For the team.
He has a new girlfriend.
Okay, whatever.
It's
yeah.
a gun.
I mean, yeah. Hannah.
It's a gun.
That shotgun was his new girlfriend.
I like this thinking. It's like, well, you know, instead of getting killed, just blow him. That's your only other option.
I mean, if it felt like we had to placate him somehow, that was my like examining. I was like examining the wood,
Yeah.
being like, look at this.
I've been that. I've been
You're
that
like
with
making
wood.
stuff up.
Yeah, I really was like, oh,
What is this, mahogany?
Yeah.
Is this metal?
Yeah, and he
Oh,
was like,
look at your dick. Who gave you that? That's great.
yeah, there's something very twisted about. There's clear fear. We're joking around, but we really don't want to see it. And you don't know me. You know what I mean? Like, he knows Hannah. And him and Hannah broke up. A lot of their arguments were around this gun thing. Because she was like, I don't want to be in your apartment with the guns around. And he was so
Makes sense.
adamantly like, it's my right. And she was like, okay, well, then I'm gone. So...
I feel like there's some gun owners listening in like, you Yankees / Canadians, although Canadians are way more comfortable with guns. But, you know, you people up in New York, this isn't that big a deal. Everyone has a gun.
Canadians are comfortable with guns?
They're more comfortable, right?
Like hunters.
Yeah.
I've been around hunting guns, but it's like there was something about the joy that he felt of bringing it out after we were like, don't bring it
Yeah,
out.
I want to remind everybody that it was 4:30 in the morning and they're on edibles.
Yeah.
And nobody knows, like, if Andrea is getting anxiety on edibles, a lot of people kind of lose their shit on edibles. And I'm
Totally.
not saying edibles will make you shoot someone.
No.
But anxiety is high.
Right.
And you don't seem stable.
No, exactly. Like everyone's kind of hyped up and it has this vibe of like if one thing goes out of control, now there's 10 guns in the house.
Yeah.
And you can't resist showing them
And
to
you
me.
don't know each other, too.
Exactly.
Even if you are totally about the guns.
Right.
He doesn't know that.
No, I know.
He's taking a big chance.
But
bringing
it's not
his
to
gun
say,
in.
okay, let's say I was into something else. Let's say I was into butterflies. Would you like to see my butterfly? Emily says no. That's the fucking end.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
would you like to see anything? I said no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how into it you are. What about my stamp collection? No, I don't care
I
if
would
it's
have
not
fucking
dangerous.
dropped to the ground. Thank God. Show me your stamp collection.
But
I'd
you
be
know-
so fucking happy.
What's with people going like, are you sure you're not interested? What if I show you, you'll become it?
Yeah.
No, look at the look on my face and read no. And even if I'm just going to be bored by it and not just like obviously frightened by it, take a no.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what was so fucked
Yeah.
up about it, was him not taking. And then
Also, if an intruder comes into your house and you have 9 guns, you use one gun to protect yourself, and then they're just going to find one of the other guns and then kill you.
Right.
Well, that's why you need a gun. There's so many guns around.
Right. You need more guns to protect from all the guns that are already in the gun den.
We solved an issue here, clearly.
And it was like this. I don't know this guy well, but it's like I can tell right offhand that you're repressed and you are trying to keep control of things, and we've spoken openly about your anger issues in the past. I know from Hannah, I can glean enough about you to know that you're stable, but you're close enough to unstable.
You might be triggered.
Exactly. So I'm like, you shouldn't have these guns in the house for your own safety, because if you're so like
Jumpy about shit.
jumpy and fucking freakishly, I love baking and precision. It's like, oh really? Someone's not gonna fuck you up, and then you're not gonna.
So how long did you stay? It sounds like you left after one night instead of 3.
Well, so we were supposed to stay for 2 nights. The second night, and the thing that was interesting is when we came back, I was
Oh,
like,
what was interesting about this?
just just staying up all night, and you know what I really like.
Did you not sleep?
I didn't sleep at all. I like would sleep for like 10 minutes and then wake up like the guns, oh the guns, and I kind of was just like, this guy, if this guy's gonna shoot you, he's gonna shoot you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
It's very zen.
I was just like, but I just couldn't sleep because I was so frightened. But then,
Well, my point was I was proud of the way that she handled that situation, because the girl that I know would take an edible, and even saying the word gun
sure.
would send her into a tailspin.
You know what though? It's like when you're drunk and something scary happens and you're like immediately sober because you have to deal with this situation. It's kind of like that. Like I was high, but immediately I was like, I'm going to get the gun out of his hand. I'm gonna look at it and pretend I'm interested in
It's
it
a life
to
or death
placate him.
situation.
Yeah, and
I just want you to know what our listeners think of you, because I thought this was funny too. Sarah Sinclair is writing in, we're on YouTube Live. Andrea's stories are so shocking that her peeing her pants can just be glossed over like it's normal. And I remember that, I'm like, she peed in her pants. You know what? Another time.
You know what? There's an antique gun. There's edibles. There's a guy who loves to bake. There's too many things. I honestly was like,
Andrea has bladder control issues. It's very normal.
We've all peed in our pants.
It's like, I don't know. LA is a crazy place, and every day something happens that seems like it's unreal, like a fever dream. So at this point, I'd had so much of it that I was just like, whatever. Yeah, now there's a psycho with an antique gun. Why wouldn't there be? That's life. And now this is how I'm just gonna step by step. And then the next day, I was
I feel
like,
like we should say welcome to America.
oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? I just like, just get it together. The next day I asked Hannah, I was like, do you think he's embarrassed because maybe he got excited because he wanted to share this part of his life with us? But this is what I'm saying.
get it,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm trying to like have it of this angle of like, maybe, do you think he's embarrassed because he was high and maybe it like got out of hand?
Yeah.
And afterwards he was like, oh shit, they seemed uncomfortable. And she's like, no, he doesn't feel like a single thing about it.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. And then when we were talking to him,
What did I do?
yeah, we were talking to him more the next day. He brought up the guns again, talking about like the revolution and more about. I'm like, this doesn't even. You're not even processing that you made me uncomfortable last night. You think you're right, and you want to continue to bring it up with me and like tell me more and more
Until
about.
you get comfortable with
Yeah, I'm like, I'm never. And so we had a flight at 8 a.m. and we told them that it was like, oh, we got it wrong. It's actually at 5, and we just went to the airport at 1 a.m. and stayed in the airport until we had to leave, because I'm like, no, I'm not sleeping another night in the gun house.
Wow. You
I'm-
gotta feel pretty unsafe to want to spend more time at LAX.
I was dying to just not be in this fucking.
It's great to be an artist.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
To be reduced to these situations.
It's the best.
Well, that's what it is. You're like, there's a moment when I'm sleeping on this guy's couch trying to like rationalize whether or not I should run out or.
So this guy has a 1-bedroom.
Yes.
And 10 guns he fits in that apartment.
yes,
Okay.
all in hidden little places.
Okay. They're not hidden little places because the apartment is little.
Sure. Right.
I bet I can find 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I bet sitting here.
I found one because he jumped around with it like a psycho little elf. Also, he's high. He's high.
Yeah.
You're high.
And he doesn't seem to be maintaining well.
What the fuck did I choose? You know, you have this moment where you're like, this is the path I chose as an artist. And I'm, you know, you got to crash in people's couches and you're like, this is just it. Maybe I die this way. Maybe this is how I die.
Were you upset at all, even a little bit, with Hannah? Like, she could have been clearer. This guy's a mess.
No.
Well, it sounds like she was clear about the guns.
She was clear about the guns. And Hannah, it was really interesting. Hannah grew up in LA. And so I met her brother. I met one of her best friends growing up. And this guy. And Hannah was, during the trip, she was like, oh my God. Not her brother. Her mom is crazy. But I met her brother and like, her mom tried to steal her brother away from her. Like, her mom's a very fucked up person, mentally ill. And Hannah was like, I didn't realize how crazy all these people are. Like, of course I was crazy. I was surrounded by crazy people. And she was like, I'm so embarrassed that I, like, put you in this position with the gun. And she's like, I just didn't realize how crazy they all were because I was crazy with them. And they were like, that guy was like a stable person to her.
Yeah, he was like way less crazy than what was
Yeah,
going on.
right. Like, he's undercover violent, but on the surface,
Right.
everything's under control, quote unquote. So it's like, you know.
Yeah, her mom wasn't baking her some shit.
Exactly.
You know what? I think it's probably a more extreme version of how when you're a drunk, you have drunk friends.
Yes.
And they're not your friends anymore when you're not.
Absolutely.
Tech Andrew again on our YouTube page is writing, and I hope this dude makes it on Hot Mess someday. Why?
Oh, yeah, we can have a
he's totally
rational
allowed in my house.
conversation.
Yeah, he's allowed in this studio.
Well,
Yeah.
you can record it at his place.
Sure. Using the guns as microphones.
BYOG.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, it was like, I felt bad for Hannah having to kind of like look at this stuff in the eye for what it was, but I think it also gave her a huge amount of clarity and being like, oh, I have to cut these people out of my life now.
Plus, she's so far removed from that. That's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, she's been sober. Her 2-year anniversary of sobriety landed on the trip. And I think, like, and her friend from high school.
That'll sober you up.
Sure.
Yeah.
God, I've never wanted to be a Christian more. When we got to the Chinese mansion, I'm like, good. I'm glad there's crucifixes here. I feel like I need to repent.
shit.
All of a sudden, I'm like a Christian.
I'm with that.
Yeah, it was like, yeah. I mean, it's a good learning experience for her. Would I have gone there knowing that he was going to wave it around?
I mean, who knows? The people have guns. Who knows that they're going to wave it around at 4 a.m.?
Yeah.
Like, it's fine to, like,
No, I would hope if you collect guns, you're the type of person that wouldn't be waving it around
exactly.
at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I've stayed in,
But they never are, though.
No,
they never are.
My ex's father is a big gun owner, like very adamant about the Second Amendment, and never waved it around, asked if I wanted to see it, taught me about it, broke it down for me. It was very, very safe feeling.
Yeah.
There are ways to
It was
manage.
probably disassembled. Like when you the hunting thing that you're talking about,
Yeah.
like those guns are typically like in pieces and
Yeah.
then they put them together
Yeah.
when it comes time to hunt. It's not exactly the same as you keeping a handgun in your drawer and then pulling it out
Yeah.
and being able to shoot it through the ceiling at a moment's notice. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I've been around hunting guns and stuff. I've been around stable people who own and operate guns. This did not feel like that.
Emily, can you picture being with a guy and having sex with a gun?
Like actually fucking a gun.
Yeah.
Oh my God, why?
Don't,
I
don't
can
let
picture
shame
it.
you.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
of
picture
course
it.
you can.
It'd be cold.
Yeah.
I can,
I'm still freakier than you.
well, I
Isn't that
can,
what's-
I can picture it, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to do it. I've never stuck anything up there that was not human.
If he had
Oh,
10 severed
nothing?
dicks around his apartment, I would be happier about it than 10 guns.
Would you stick a gun in your butt, Keith? I don't understand why my
You
question
asked
is
the
different.
question,
It's
yeah.
your question.
Yeah, I don't understand where the
Yeah.
question came
Yeah,
from.
where else do you want to stick it? You have a butt and a face. I don't. What's the problem?
Why does sex make you so angry, Hunter? Why are you
Because
so
you're
mad?
doing it wrong. Why are
don't-
you asking Emily if she'd put it up her?
But you know what? This proves our point that guns are like are very sexual. Like it's very a guy who has a lot of guns.
He's got something to prove.
He's got something to prove.
Yeah. especially
There's a sexual nature to it.
Of course, it's power.
Power,
It's the
yeah.
it's the power. It was the power trip of us like joking around about how we didn't want to see it, and him being like, "No, I'm gonna make you see it," and then continuing to bring it up the next day, even though clearly I'm like avoiding it at all costs. You know. So
Well, when you run out of dinner conversation, what do you do?
what? Yeah, there's nothing.
Don't
to
be
do
a snob.
except for talk about the potential revolution and how you're gonna be
Okay.
armed. All great.
Yeah, I feel so safe with you
Yeah.
around. Okay.
Get back in the kitchen where you belong.
Yeah, he was like a very strange combo platter of woke,
The perfect man and
woke
the worst
seeming.
man.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. It's
So LA sounded fun.
yeah. LA was a real acid trip, but not.
You're out there. You're promoting your album,
I was, yes.
right? Speaking of Gonzo, that's the title of it,
Sure.
Oh my
right?
God, the best album of cover. Keith, you have a great album cover. There's jizz on your face, Andrea.
Yes, it's
Okay.
actually milk, but
Okay, whatever.
It is jizz, yes. And that's coming out on July 4th.
Did your
so-
parents make you say it's milk?
No, my mom said she liked the album cover though, which is crazy. I don't think she
What?
knows.
You know why you put her through so much with this album cover, right?
Sure,
That she's like, fuck it, milk on your face, you know?
I don't know if she knows what it's a reference to.
That's not
Well, come
possible.
on.
That's
Yeah.
not possible, Andrea.
And how do you respect
like,
them?
New
My
York
s-
is so dirty. I got milk on my face. I like cats, and cats like milk. And what's this milk on? Literally, there's like a line of milk coming at you.
She doesn't know what it is.
Okay, I apologize.
You don't have to work in the arts to know it's the cum font.
Her tongue sticking out. She's like catching it in her mouth.
There's a speech bubble that says, "Give me more cum on my face, please."
Andrea, you were such a
She's-
good girl for that photo shoot.
Listen, she's
It's like,
behind
Andrea,
it.
you're finally washing your face.
You're
I
using
always
that-
tell you to moisturize.
She finally thinks you're using that stuff she sent you.
Yeah, look at that moisturizer.
And what's the name of track one?
I think it's blood for cum.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
All right, I think so too.
Yeah. Listen, I was talking about the EP earlier today, and someone was like, what was like the idea behind it? And I was like, I was really capturing like a lot of years of my 20s, a lot of stuff about like drugs and sex and like living a crazy life, and I just really wanted to like encapsulate that in an hour. And then I'm like, but I'm a different person, a little bit different now. And then cut to like I'm in LA having someone wave a gun on me while I'm on edibles. I'm like, no, I'm not. My life's gonna be a constant insane nightmare forever.
I like the difference between your album cover and Keith's album cover. Keith's album cover is fucked up on the inside.
Sure.
Like it's a cartoon of him enjoying himself with an ice cream and his girlfriend just being like, I have 3 kids, like on the album
I
cover.
saw that cover. I like
Yeah.
it better.
Yeah, and so his is like, I'm a shithead on the inside, and Andrea's like, I'm a shithead on my face.
Ah, you're a shithead. You're all shithead. Show me your guns.
My
Fucking-
album cover will just be that wet spot.
Oh God. I would.
Mine's going to be me giving fellation to a gun.
I would have been so happy to see the wet spot. I missed everyone so much. I was like, I got off the plane. I was like, oh my God. I was like licking the subway, hugging all the homeless people with the cans, being like,
She texted me, and it was like some weird hour. She's like, I just been on an airplane, blah, blah, blah. And she hasn't slept in 24 hours. She's like, can I come over tonight? And I'm like, yeah, sure, Andrea. I'm like, why don't you go home, put your stuff down, and see if you're still awake.
Oh my
Later,
God.
she's like, I think I was just excited to be home.
I was so excited. I was like crying in the car.
Yeah, she was like getting excited about weird things.
I ordered
she was
a
like
gyro.
excited to. She was excited to like take the train back
Oh.
at 6 a.m. Like weird things.
I wish I knew this story ahead of time. I would have brought in my CO2 gun and just been like, "Hey, Andrea, look what I got."
I don't even like when you have the CO2 gun.
Right?
Okay?
Nobody did.
No one liked it.
It was when it was camping, right?
Uh-huh.
And everyone was like, why does Keith have a gun?
Yeah.
Oh, there were
Case-
some people who were into
Of
it.
course, A, B, in case we had sex.
Which psychos are these?
Yeah, sure.
Peter and Sarah.
Shout out.
At first they said no, but then they changed their mind.
Everybody loves it. It's America in the end.
Everyone loves it.
They do. Emily Lubin, you can follow online, Lubin Nation on Twitter. Same thing with Instagram.
Do it.
And both these fine people host the Hot Mess Comedy Hour.
How well did I do on your show?
We got such good feedback on that show. People loved it.
Yeah.
People love you. I don't know if you know that.
That's
Yeah.
very nice.
We love you too.
I spilled the tea. I like in the beginning we talk about their lives. To chime in on your lives.
I got to take a dump all over one of my exes.
Oh my God. I was like, I was there. Here's why he was shitty. I was cackling. It was so much fun.
Oh yeah, you're one of my favorite people actually to talk shit about dudes with.
Yeah.
When I'm in it, when I'm like, we're doing this, it feels like I'm a different person.
Hemda's in a blackout.
No,
like,
you're the
"Fuck
same.
him!
You're the same person.
Shove the gun up his ass and pull the trigger. I love it.
So you're telling me you won't take a double barrel load of shells up your ass pipe? Where else would it go? You're asking if it go in my usually open vagina. Why wouldn't you shove it up your goat ass? Wow, double standards.
It was definitely worse than brunch.
Kill him.
Yeah, you just give me like a little nugget. You're like, we're shitting on my ex. I'm like, yeah, we are.
Yeah. I mean, you shit on your ex, so it was a beautiful full
Yes.
circle.
That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite things to do on air. Shit on people who don't have a microphone.
Absolute. That's what we
Should've-
stand by in
you
the
know
Hot Mess
what?
Comedy Hour.
We gave them a microphone. Should have been nicer.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it'd be funny if
True.
you have you have like the people you're talking about in the next room, and the door's locked, so they can't leave, and you have a camera on them just watching them
Like
listen
Maury?
to
Yeah.
you. Okay. Okay. Who
I
doesn't
mean-
like that?
Maury was at one of my shows in LA and loved me, so there you go.
The
I-
great Maury Povich.
Yes, I have a new fan.
The great.
Yeah.
That's, you know what? That should be your quote. Like,
Maury Povich approved.
No,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
actually makes sense. The "you are not the father" guy
Yeah.
would. It seems
Oh,
like he'd be
yeah.
into it.
I'm like, eat my period box. He's like, ah. And I'm
loved
like,
it.
life isn't real. Ah, guns.
He's running around like he just found out he's not a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can't help it. Well, here are the albums. If you want to check them out, they're available for pre-sale. Gonzo
Thank you.
and I'm Dating Your Mom. Get a double barrel of fun.
and my album, "Gun in My Box."
coming soon. Hey guys, if you like this episode or any episode or all that stuff, follow us on social media and share the shows. Share Keith and the Girl, share the Hot Mess Comedy Hour, and then we're going to be friends with the universe together.